So our next speaker, we're going to shift up a little bit. We have some newer up-and-coming rising stars here. Everybody thinks, my God, I'm kind of new in the business. All these guys have been in the business for decades. They're doing so well. I'm so new. I'm struggling. But we have people here that are shining like diamonds here. 5 years in the business. Moved here 2017, which is not a lot of time in Hawaii time to be here. Coming from a different place to transition and to grow and to kind of immerse yourself into the culture. It's a lot. Trust me, I know. But she's here crushing it. They're doing over $50 million, her and her partner, and they focus in a lot of the military right now. So they're doing really well. We're super excited. And this is her first time, by the way, on stage. Give it up for Sara Martinez. Let's go!
Hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much, Chris, for the intro. Chris is really glad I finally got my slides to him on Easter. They were only due April 1st. But a little bit about me. My name is Sara Martinez. I moved here to Hawaii with the military back in 2017. My husband and I have been together for 10 years. And today I'm going to talk about connecting on a higher level. So I am part of a team. I guess you could consider us a team, but we're a partnership. So my business partner and I, Tina, we met back in 2017. She was my real estate agent back when we were moving here, stuck in a hotel for 60 days. And, I think just connecting with each other over years is eventually how I ended up joining the industry. So I'll talk a little bit about my story. Once again, I'm a military spouse. My husband's no longer in the military. We were able to get out and not retire, but get out of the military around 10 years in because of real estate. So, I tell my clients all the time that my trajectory, my life really did change because we bought a house, right? So our entire life projection changed because we bought a house when we first moved here. I was 24 years old. That was terrifying, guys. We bought a $600,000 house in 2017, and I truly believe in this market because that house today is worth around $850,000, and that's really cool to be able to have those kind of options as you guys grow into your adulthood. And we preach this to all of our clients moving here now. I didn't know that would be my trajectory or my net worth when I was 24, but we really took a risk and we really truly believe in ourselves. So I have a daughter. Her name is Dottie. She's turning 9 next week. And we are originally from San Diego. My husband and I met in a Jack in the Box parking lot. We were 11, I think we were 12 maybe, and he was like 15. You'd hang out and go to the movies and then go to the little, wherever your parents would pick you up. So that's where we met. We moved here from El Paso, but we're originally from San Diego. Don't ask me if I'd go back to El Paso. Absolutely not. If you know anything about the military, we're not the Navy, we were in the Army. So they like to buy the cheapest plot of land with nothing around. So for the Army, there's not very many pretty duty stations, so the second we ended up in Hawaii, we decided we were never going to leave. It's very similar to San Diego. I just say the beaches are better and the people are nicer. So I started real estate in 2020, but I have been in sales of some sort for about 15 years. I grew up with a single dad. I did not have anything handed to me. I think I started paying my phone bill at like 14. He said, if you want an iPhone, you better go work for it. So I've had 2 jobs up until I, started working 7 days a week in the dental office. I went to dental assisting school at 17, and I worked in dentistry for about 5 years until we moved to El Paso. And let me tell you guys, selling $12,000 dental surgery is way less attractive than selling home ownership, okay? Once we moved to El Paso, I couldn't do dentistry anymore. I found out I was pregnant with our daughter, and I watched one of my friends from church get on a Facebook Live and sell what you call LuLaRoe leggings. And everyone else was watching it because they liked the leggings, right? I watched one live sale and I looked at my husband and I said, holy crap, she just made $2,000 in 2 hours. I can do that. And so I asked her how to do it, right? So I actually sold LuLaRoe for about 5 years. I was in their top sales team. If you know anything about it, I was a cruise qualifier and sold about $30,000 worth of clothing every month. I did everything myself. I did the shipping, we did the marketing, I did Facebook Lives. You guys ever want to learn how to talk to people? Go talk to yourself on Facebook Live for 5 hours at a time, okay? I could have a conversation with myself for days, okay? During COVID, I had gotten a little burnt out from selling clothes, and this was about the time that COVID and the 2020 election were around, and being on Facebook for 8 hours a day was not very fun. And it kind of became something I wasn't as passionate about, trying to convince somebody to buy a skirt or another pair of sweatpants when they're telling me their life stories about how they were furloughed or, they're really struggling was really difficult for me. I operate from a very personal connection with my clients and with my customers. And so knowing their stories made it really hard to be a salesman because it just didn't feel important anymore, right? So at that time, Tina and I started hanging out a lot. I'm kind of like the host of the group. I love to have a party. My husband usually asks what time everyone can leave. But for me, I'm like 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's go, And so we started hanging out. She was like, hey, I need a property manager. And I went and started my real estate licensing and finished it within 6 weeks, right? I actually remember I finished it on my birthday. I had to sit in that 8-hour class on my birthday. And then I started on her team. She had run a larger team at that point, and we very quickly realized we were more than just teammates, we were more partners. And so since then, since we moved over to eXp, we've kind of transitioned to a partnership. And since 2021, we've consistently sold about $50 million worth of real estate, just the two of us. And so, yeah. So together, her and I have sold about 450 homes, but by myself, if I count my actual sales, it's about 250 families that we've been able to help. That is the big thing that we always say is how many families we've been able to help. They're not just a sale. They are people, and you need to make sure that you're connecting with people on a real level and genuinely care about the people that you're servicing. So Tina and I have run kind of an interesting business. You will never catch me cold calling. Everything that we do is referral-based, okay? So we are all about creating human connections that lead to referrals. So a couple questions to ask yourself. Are you building a business that is based on connection and authenticity, or is it a sales pitch and pressure? Are you truly listening to your clients' wants and needs and advising based off of what was best for them, or are you advising off of what you would do? Because my situation is a little different than someone who's maybe living on a fixed income or maybe knows they have 4 little kids and they don't want to do a commute for an hour. I'll do a commute for an hour to live in a nicer house, but maybe for them that's not their goal. And you need to make sure that you are listening to the clients and the people around you, because as you listen to them, the sales part comes easy. If a client tells me they need X, Y, and Z, and then I go show them a house that's completely opposite of that, am I truly listening to them, or is that really just a waste of time for everybody? We're all about maximizing time, especially when you sell 75 homes a year. You have to make sure that whatever you're doing in your day-to-day schedule actually is productive. Because if I go waste time and we go see 47 houses, well, that takes away from clients that I could be servicing. So I'm making sure that I'm listening on a day-to-day basis so that when I am showing them things, it's not abnormal, guys, for me to do 1 day of showings and clients write an offer. Are you forming personal relationships, or is this strictly business? So, this is a few of our clients. Like we said, we pretty much, I would say 95% of our business is military or people moving here. So we do have a unique business in that threshold. Our clients are here for 3 to 5 years, have their VA entitlement. So you guys, the amount of people I've helped buy a house with zero money in their bank account is pretty impressive. 3 things people question when they're creating a relationship with you. 1, do you care for me? Can you help me? And can I trust you? This is a huge thing. Once again, it goes back to listening, making sure you're listening to your clients, because if they don't feel like you're listening, they don't feel like they can trust you. So focus on serving your clients, not selling them. Okay. It is very easy to do sales, as Justin kind of mentioned, if it's a script. It's only a script if you don't know it well enough. So you need to know your neighborhoods, know your market. If somebody walks into an open house, my first question is not, hi, do you have an agent? I say, hey, do you live in the neighborhood? Oh, yeah, I live at Unit 57. Guess what? That's probably not a buyer. So now I know exactly how to shift my conversation. That may be a seller. My conversation to that client as a seller is going to be very different to someone who just says, oh, actually, we just got to Island yesterday. We're still living in a hotel. So that's going to change your pitch, and you need to be able to morph into the pitches with the people that you're connecting with on a day-to-day basis. Now, Tina and I love a good party. So most of our clients are strictly referrals. So I do not do any sort of paid lead advertisement. We don't pay for any sort of lead generation. We don't do Zillow. We pay for parties. We pay to hang out with clients. It's gotten pretty expensive, guys. My kid's birthday has like 150 people at it. So, but what that does, Friday last week, we decided we hadn't seen a few clients. There was a client that had a 1-year anniversary and they don't deliver flowers to her neighborhood. So we were like, oh shoot, we gotta hang out with her. She's already sent us a referral that's closed. We gotta make sure we make the extra effort to hang out with her. So what did we do instead? We decided to invite 5 different families to the pool that Tina lives in. It cost us $160 for pizza, drinks, snacks, chips, and they're all kind of the same age demographic, like we all have kids around the same age. $160 for me to connect with 5 clients, okay? Are you the first person that somebody thinks about when they think of real estate? This is super important. No matter where you go, you want, whether they're your client or not, to think about who you are. When they think about real estate, they think about who you are, okay? They don't want to think of like, oh, maybe I know real estate. What's her name? That is my favorite question when I ask people, okay? Oh, I have an agent. I'm like, oh, what's their name? Oh, I don't know. I go, you don't know your agent's name? Guess what? They don't have a connection with their agent. And not that I'm in the business to steal people's clients, but guess what? If your client doesn't know your name, you're not doing a good enough job, okay? I don't have to steal your client. Your client's gonna feel that connection and they're gonna learn to trust me because they don't even know who you are. I also want to, this is something I think that is a very big problem in our industry, and it's very easy for us to all get a little petty, okay? We have agents or clients sometimes that will take up a lot of time, and they will waste your time. Maybe they don't buy, maybe they don't purchase, and how bad do you want to not respond to that, what we call the breakup text? Okay? It's very easy to not want to respond to that. But what's gonna happen if somebody sends you a breakup text, or maybe they're concerned about buying and you can already tell they're not gonna end up buying or whatnot? What's gonna happen when someone else is looking for real estate and you didn't respond to them? And you didn't give them warm and fuzzies and make them feel good because maybe buying a house right now wasn't in their cards and didn't feel true or intentional to them. Just because it's not someone's time doesn't mean that it was a waste of your time. And it's important to be able to acknowledge that some of the clients who never purchase could end up being your biggest referral chain. I have a story. I met someone at an event for the military. I didn't even remember doing a Zoom with him because it had been like 8 months prior. He reached back out. I was like, gosh, I gotta go back and look at my Read AI notes because I don't remember who this is. And he reached back out and said, hey, my buddy just got here. I think we wanna buy a house together. I'm like, that's not a good idea. Don't do that, guys. We're not gonna buy a house together. You guys can both buy a house, each one of you separately, but don't buy a house with your buddy. It doesn't end well, right? So they ended up not buying. It was a little bit too overwhelming for them. However, they sent me this referral named Vinny. Vinny was great, just got here, super excited, super pumped. We got into escrow. I got him a killer deal. I think we were in contract at $495 with $25,000 in credits. I was like, heck yeah, he's not gonna pay anything. This is the best deal ever, right? He got cold feet and he canceled. And I'm like, Why? Like, I literally handed you a silver platter. Like, there's nothing else you're gonna get better than this, right? Since Vinny, we have closed 7 transactions from him because I didn't make him feel like he wasted my time, and I made sure that he knew that I understood that it didn't feel right for him to purchase, and I still made him feel like I cared about him, and he still trusted me. I actually had a closing today from that client. Okay. It's very important to make sure that people feel good around you. They want to feel that energy, and this goes with agents too. You know, I'm gonna call Justin out really quick. Yesterday, I went to show Justin's listing. My schedule's busy, guys. It was a FaceTime walkthrough of the client. I get there, I'm like, open the lockbox, and I'm like, Justin, there's no key. I look in the window. I told my client, here you go. This is the house. This is all you need. You ready to write an offer? It's this one right now. This is it. Here, you can see through the glass, right? His handyman had taken the key and went to Home Depot, even though he told him, please don't take the key. He's like, he'll be back in 30 minutes. Can you stay? I'm like, absolutely not. I got a busy schedule. I got to go. So I'm going to go show it tomorrow. But had I cussed out Justin because the key wasn't there, are we going to have a good relationship moving forward? Are we going to, if he sees my name on a purchase contract for one of my buyers, and maybe my buyer's offer isn't the best offer, is he going to advocate to his client that he knows that we're good people, we're good agents, and that we'll close a deal? How you treat people matters, and how you take the time to listen and connect with people, understand their stories, like truly put your phone down. You know, actually you don't even have to put it down, but just listen, okay? Make sure that people feel good when they're around you, because that will turn into an influx of sales. Tina and I had 3 agents this last year that were just too busy or doing something else in the industry that sent us, I think, 5 or 6 referrals. They are agents on Oahu, but they didn't have the time to service the neighborhood or their client. And they said, you know, I really just love how you guys do business, and I want you to take all my clients that I need to refer out. Make sure that people feel good around you, and it's important to make sure that those relationships are long-term. Especially, I think, if you live on Oahu, you know, this island's real small. You know, you see someone at the grocery, oh gosh, you guys, look at this. My husband's a property manager. He's managing a property for this girl in Mililani. She's a massage therapist. I'm standing on my client's porch yesterday because it's closing day. And we're chit-chatting, talking. We're being super loud. It's a condo, so the door's open next door. And we were standing there for like 15 minutes being obnoxious. Chit-chatting. Someone comes over, shuts the door. And I go, Way? It was one of our property management clients. She's doing a massage for somebody, okay? But guess what? Now she's gonna go tell her client that she's massaging. Oh my gosh, your new next door neighbor, their agent's my agent. And who knows that that client may call me in a year or 2 because they're ready to sell. So make sure you make people feel good. Once again, kind of just circling back to that, use the power of agents to connect, or use your connections to connect with agents. This will also fully lead into growing a downline. Do the sales, show up, answer people's questions, go the extra mile. I didn't want to send an email to an HOA asking really silly questions this morning, but guess what? That's what my client wanted, and I'm going to go the extra mile. And then in turn, he's about to go work at the hospital. Hopefully he sends me 5 surgeons that are ready to purchase. So if you guys would like to connect with me, feel free to reach out. I'm kind of an open book. I'm pretty type C, I guess. So I work really hard, but don't ever ask me to put you on the calendar. I'll probably forget. No, just kidding. I'll remember, but it won't be on my calendar. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.